You're not stuck because you're lazy or because your dream is impossible. You're stuck because you're looking at the peak of the mountain in comparison to where you are right now, instead of just looking at only the peak and everything akin to that, and ignoring where you are because your current position is going to change. Most people look at a massive goal as a wall of bricks, but you should look at it and see it as a pile of individual bricks that can be moved one by one and treated and helped one by one. If you think you can't do the big thing in your life, it's not because you lack talent, it's because you lack kind of a map. So today, we're going to talk about how to reverse engineer impossible into inevitable. Welcome back to bizcraft. I decided I need to do these hooks for the videos. The reason why is because it's just better. It's just better. You guys can become aligned with kind of what we're talking about from the off, and you don't have to just listen to me yapping because you're here for the value. You're not here for me. Who the hell am I? Who am I? I'm not even going to introduce myself. I don't normally. Let's get going. Let's get going. Yeah, today's episode is something. I'll give the context for today's episode. So, yo, I guess we're climbing roofs these days. I feel like we're lagging. It's alright. I'm not too bothered. I'm not too bothered. You know, as well, today, we are looking for mangrove wood. Guys, I don't know where to find mangrove wood. I'm actually going to look it up right now. I have no idea how to find mangrove wood in Minecraft. Mangrove wood is found in the mangrove swamp biome, which generates in warm, humid areas, often bordering deserts, jungles, or savanna. I hope that's true. That's AI search. We do have a horse, and that is paramount, to be fair. We need that. And I ain't talking Paramount Pictures. But this is about to be a movie. Buckle up, buckle up. What am I saying, bro? I'm just spouting shit these days. So, a bit of context. A while ago, me and my friends, we had a discussion. I said I would love to do a big holiday with like 40 people, as long as they were down to go, as long as we had 40 people who were down to go on a big, for those who know, all of this is just ice where I'm looking. So I'm going the opposite way. That is a snowy mountain though, but it is a mountain, so it's fine. So I had a discussion with some friends, and I said I would love to go on like a 40-person holiday. And they said, Manny, Sibao, you're crazy, dude. You can't do that. Logistically, it just wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to find an Airbnb for like 20 people anyway. And even if you could, it would be a hassle to find it. And I said, I wasn't even thinking 20 people. I was thinking 40 people. And then they were like, oh, okay, so you're just balmy. You're an idiot. What I understood then, and as I began to explain, some of them could see the vision, was that... Hold on. That was really bad. Wow, that was bad. Okay, apparently horses can swim these days. Cool, I'll take it. So, brother. Look at that leap. We needed that. Yeah, apparently horses can swim. I love that. So, I basically explained that, well, they were like, logistically, no, it wouldn't work. And I want to be on holiday with just my core friends. I don't want to be on holiday with the 20 people because I don't want to stay with them. And I said, then you can just spend 80% of the holiday just around the core group. And all the different core groups of the 40 will do that too. And then we can only spend 20% of the time with the big group. And you might be thinking now, like, well, what's the point in everyone going? First of all, hold on. We got to start the timer. We started it. That's crazy. We're already 4 minutes in. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. What do you mean? Okay, this might just be story time then, which is fine. I think this is good. This is an interesting story. So, brother. We're looking for mangrove trees, by the way. Don't forget. Don't forget. Mangrove swamp. This is going to take probably a while, but it's fine. It's worth. It's worth. Let me put this on. I don't want to die all the way out here. I think I'm going to die in this house. So you don't have to have the 40 people in an Airbnb. You can just have it in different Airbnbs and all this stuff that I'm saying, right? Okay, that scared me. W freaking horse. This is crazy. Horses could never do this back in the day. And it would, and if you only spent 20% of the time with the other Donnies, it would be worth it. It would be worth it for big events, big things like a big beach day, or like a big like sports tournament, like paddle tournament or something, or like some kind of party for someone's birthday or something like that. Some big dinner with all of them, right? This is all stuff that you can do. So don't think you can't. And this was kind of what I was saying to my friends. I was like, you know, this is all possible. Little glisten frostwalker boots. I will take that. Prop 2 leggings. Why not? I'm gonna leave that. We've got a bit of gold. Gold. You see those quick reactions. Hold on. I'm hitting on these magma cubes. So I was basically explaining every brick can be moved. You have this great wall of a problem. What's the snow fox? Those are new. But every brick can be attended to. It just takes longer to figure out the logistics. It takes more creativity. It's less of an accessible, known blueprint. Okay, so we're definitely in the wrong area right now if we are looking for a hot zone. But it's all good. We'll figure it out. This is pretty cool, though. Ice mountains. I didn't know these kind of existed, really. Not gonna lie. Okay, some water. I don't really want to leave my Donny. I don't really want to leave my horse, you know what I mean? Look at that. Is that like a volcano looking at? Okay. I'm gonna go this way. And as I started to explain, but what about this? But what about that? They started to take my side. They started to understand what the rock was cooking. So, to tie this into business a little bit, I kind of realized that it's the same for the principle of business, where when you're starting up, you have to put in a tremendous amount of effort to get things rolling, to get the ball roll. Oh, this is the creaking, isn't it? I've not been here. Is this the mangrove? No, this is like white oak, isn't it? But I know there's an evil Donny in this woods who like follows you. Did I just hear him? I don't know. I know this is a spooky area. Keep your eyes peeled, gang. And yeah, so ooh, really bad jump. Really bad. I'm scared. Yeah, there's some like Donny who chases after you or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracted, sorry. So, it's the same in business. What starts at founder level, what works at founder level doesn't work at scaling level, and then what works at scaling level doesn't work at like sustainable level, and then what works at that level doesn't work at like when you're trying to sell the business, right? If you're working in the business when you're trying to sell it, it's not a good idea really. And no one's going to buy your company unless you're like a really, really big company and you're going to get acquired because you're just a ghosted new startup type thing. If you see what I'm saying. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then it's kind of the same with wider life. So wider society with AI going forward, it's not going to work. What we have right now isn't going to work. The system that we have in government capitalism as it is right now, it's not going to work as it is because we're going to have AI. And so, for example, one suggested thing that we're going to have to do is have a universal salary. So everyone just has like a universal wage, kind of like benefits, but for everyone, because no one's going to be working because everyone's going to have no jobs because of AI. But it's fine. The worry really is that it's not going to work in current society, and that's what everyone's worry is when AI takes all our jobs. As opposed to the fact that we won't have to work, you know, so I'm getting trolled right now. I'm going to have to shack up. I don't know if I don't think I have a bed, which is really dumb. That's interesting. It's fine though. We move. We keep it going. So, it's the same in business. It's the same idea in business. Let me just pause a sec so I can get into this. Everything big is just a collection of small, boring things. This is the biggest takeaway. Everything big is just a collection of small, probably boring things. A 40-person holiday is just 10 groups of 4 people. Can you do a 10-person holiday? Yes, then you can do a 40-person holiday. A £1 million business is just £100 10,000 times, or £10,000 100 times. When people say, I can't do that, what they mean is, I can't do that at once. And your job is to solve the whole problem today. Your job is to find the smallest possible brick and move it. Sorry, your job isn't to solve the whole problem today. Your job is to find the smallest possible brick and move it. But people often think that, they got to solve the whole problem today. Once you move on one, the wall starts to look like a pile. You know what I mean? So, I think that's the biggest takeaway from today's lesson. Today's lesson. Today's episode. I don't want to make it any crazier than that. I reckon we've got 5 minutes left. That's good. I hope you guys take away from that. Holy creeper! My bad. The singing voice came out there. Creeper was close. Right, let me start descending this hill. Top 10 mountain horses. I was built for the mountains. Hope we're not going around in circles because we may have already been here. Not sure though. Don't want to fall in a ravine, bro. My brightness is up. Cool. Wanna get in, get on your skin. We're on the hunt for mangrove. Don't forget, if you see a mangrove biome, lock in. Okay. So we've got a few more points here, actually. We're getting shot at, but it's okay. We stay real. Hope we haven't gone in a circle here. I don't think we have. No idea where I'm going, by the way. Or if I'll ever find a way back. Hello? Get skinned. Absolutely drop the shoulder on that guy. They all be spawning in the same place, man, I'm telling you. Is this where I've come from? I hope not. I hope I haven't done a full circle. Oh, I have. Wait, this is a hot and humid place. This is a swamp. We haven't gone past the swamp. This is probably the next move. I wanna get in, get under your skin. I wanna be closer and closer and closer. Kind of gone in a circle here, guys. We've been here before, actually. That's fine. We'll go on beyond the swamp. Keep it going. Okay, this is more swamp, which is not mangrove, which is okay, but not really a job for the horse. You see what I'm saying? That is our house, I believe. I think so, at least. Too quick for these donnies. What is that? It's a swamp zombie? Swampy? Oh. I don't know how you heal a horse. Probably with apples. Can anyone confirm that? That's the kind of Minecraft logic that you expect from this game. I actually think we're in the right area right now, in terms of home. We did go in a circle though, which was not... Look at this little natural dam. Look at that movement, by the way. See you later. Yeah, so this says the spectator's curse. So I kind of ideated with AI on some of it. I think that might be where we're from, guys. We're certainly not trying to go towards this tundra. That's not the right way. Let's keep it moving. So I have some really clever friends. They're definitely cleverer than me. And it's much easier to point out why something won't work than to figure out how it will. So cynicism is easier than being the doolally optimist that I am. It's easier. It's easier to say, no, it just won't work. Sorry. Guys, let me tell you, you're not smart if you're just the guy who goes around and says, that's unrealistic, that's unrealistic. It doesn't make you smart, okay? So don't try and chase that because you'll just be miserable from as a sub effect of your own cynicism, if that makes sense. So you don't want to do that, okay? I find I'm an optimist and I'm able to stay optimistic in a lot of times, for a few reasons, but I think a lot of them serve me. And anyway, it's not about that. So my smart friends use their intelligence as a shield to protect them from the risk of trying, the risk of failure, the risk of finding out that they're not as smart in the world as they think they are. They find the 1% flaw in people like, use as an example, I was saying to AI, they find the 1% flaw in Simon Squibb. So Simon Squibb is a guy from the UK who goes around asking people, what's your dream? What's your dream? And people tell him, well, I'd love to do this, I'd love to do that. And then he spits at them and says, that's stupid. No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. But he's great. He's really good. And he basically, he gives people a platform. What my friends would do is look at that and go systematically. They would go, well, systematically, he's just like, yeah, he's helping people who have less get more, but it's not something sustainable. He's just kind of doing it for his own sake. He's doing it to promote himself, or he thinks, or it's not scalable. He's going around with as one person asking people what's their dream. It's ridiculous. Like, this is a nothing burger thing to do. He's gaining more from his following than these people are from his support. But it's not about that. It's about hope. It's about hope. So yes, they're literally right, but that's not his intention. He's not trying to. He's not going, I'm using people, or I'm using hope, I'm selling hope. He's written one book and I think that's how he makes his money, but everything else is like genuinely about helping people follow their dream. He's got a political movement that I think he's trying to start, and you might think, well, if he's a politician, he's going to make a bunch of money, isn't he? He's going to have so much power. He genuinely wants to inspire change. That's what I believe, and the most important thing is, I could be wrong, they could be right, but we don't know. So we can't be judging, yeah? This is why you got to stay on your own path, because you'll probably never meet Simon Squibb, this guy who goes around asking people what's their dream and then he supports them. So we just don't know. So they find the 1% flaw. It's not 1%. It's well, I don't know. He wouldn't quantify it. It's a small flaw in Simon Squibb because when you put it next to his larger purpose, which is inspiring people in the UK, which the UK needs a lot of that. They find the 1% flaw in my holiday plan and use it as an excuse to do 0%. So the takeaway is, don't be that guy who isn't playing the game. And don't let someone who isn't playing the game tell you how to move your pieces. Being right about a failure doesn't get you closer to success. Failing gets you closer to success. Not about whether you were right or wrong. Not about, who cares, bro. Just do. Just do. Because you're not smarter than all of it. And the blueprints already exist. If you really want to prove your smarts, do something that no one's done before. And then at least you can profess to people, say, yo, no one's ever done this before. I'm SpaceX and I'm trying to colonize Mars. No one's ever done this before. I'm not trying to say be Elon Musk, but, you know, if you do nothing, I think that's terrible. And, you know, I might have crafted this picture that my friends do nothing. They've got dreams, which is so cool. So it's, you know, they're at uni right now. They're not doing nothing. Yeah. When they are out of uni, it'll be a different story. But, you know, they've all got dreams. So they're not looking to do nothing, right? At least I hope. So I think you should do it the same. You shouldn't be the cynic. You shouldn't be the guy who's trying to be overly smart. I've definitely, per thing that I do, per thing that I've learned about whatever, I've definitely got dumber over the last few years, right? I've learned more, so I'm more knowledgeable, and I'd say I'm slightly more wise, but I'm also just like a bit thick-headed, and that's just that helps you get forward in business. It helps you make progress in business. It's a better way to move in business, yeah? Okay, so that's everything. That's everything. I hope you I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have taken something away from it. A bit of the yap session as per, but we didn't find any mangrove, guys. Really bad. But we didn't look, and it didn't look that far. I'm not surprised that we didn't find much mangrove. It's probably going to take multiple days. We'll find the mangrove wood because someone in the comments said they wanted me to make the house out of mangrove wood. So I'm doing it because kind of like the topic of this episode, really. You got to do it. And yeah, get absolutely cooked. I hope that makes sense. It's the kind of the same thing with the mangrove wood. I'll be searching around for ages until I find it, I'm sure. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate any comments. If you have any questions about business, please let me know. And I will see you in the next one.